Joe, good to see you. How you doing? Evening. Tor, good to see you as well. Evening. How you doing? Jason, good to see you as well. How you doing? Yeah, I by mistake I started the live show and then I ended the live show because I forgot to change the episode number. But this is the correct live show. So the one right before, just 5 seconds before it, is the wrong one. So if you're planning on retweeting the live show, retweet this live show. Apologies, everyone. I forgot to change the episode number, and I quickly pressed live, and then I ended the live to change the episode number, and then I restarted the live. So apologies about that. And I saw a lot of people retweeting it as well. So if you're planning on retweeting the live show, retweet this one, not the one before. I'm going to delete the one before it. Apologies, everyone. Something happened? Yep, that's what's happened, JP. But now it's fixed. Joe's good to see you as well. How you doing? JP, good to see you as well. How you doing, brother? Camel, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? Good evening, Miles of CMF. Art, good to see you as well. How you doing? Pure, good to see you as well. How you doing? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? Free and Forever, good to see you as well. How you doing? Funky brother, good to see you as well. Evening, how you doing? Got you. Good evening. JP, let's go. How you doing? Evening. Yeah, let me just quickly delete that one as well, just in case anyone clicks on it. So, on today's live show, we have quite a lot of things to go through. Lena, good to see you as well. How you doing? Let me just delete this one. Yeah. Okay, now it's fixed. Yeah. I just wanted to quickly delete the mistake live show from the X. Now the only correct live show is on X right now. So, by the way, thanks so much to everyone that's retweeting this live show right now on X, and because I'm getting notifications as well, and for liking the live show as well. So, and where we, Lena, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening. Denise, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Lots of bullish news today. Yes, we do have quite a lot of news to go through on tonight's live show. As we get towards the end of the live show, we have quite a lot of bullish news to go through, actually. Quite a lot. Scott, good to see you as well. How you doing? Happy Pisces, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? So, on tonight's live show, by the time so I'll do the gist of the news as usual, and then we'll do the intro, disclaimer, and then we go into the live show, the first news. By the time I do all of that, everyone's pretty much in for the first part of the live show to go through the first news. Even Miles and CMF, good to see you as well. How you doing, Mav? Hit the like. Let's go, Messi. So on tonight's live show, we're going to go through the news of CoinGecko first. We're going to go through CoinGecko because CoinGecko has been compromised and a lot of emails have been compromised. So we'll go through that and how to safeguard yourself. We're going to be next talking about MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor on tonight's live show as well, and his new perspectives. We're going to be talking about Charles, essentially the founder, the Cardano founder. We're going to be going through his perspectives, essentially on Cardano. We're also going to be talking about next on tonight's live show regarding Ethereum and a CEO's perspective on regarding Ethereum and how things can go south or very, very good for Ethereum. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding Uniswap's CEO as well, regarding gas fees on Ethereum. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding the ASI, which is the super intelligent AI that's coming out from Singularity Net, Ocean Protocol, and Fetch AI. We're going to talk about that as well, what's happening. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding family offices are right now going inside of cryptocurrencies. So according to a new report by BNY Mellon, there's a lot of things happening inside the institutional space right now in terms of cryptocurrencies. Next, we're going to be talking about tonight's live show regarding real-world asset and tokens and how utility tokens are actually outshining in terms of real-world assets, are outshining Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of performance, which is ridiculous to think about it, but it is happening. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show regarding the European Central Bank, ECB, and Canada's bank. Recently, the ECB in Canada essentially lowered their interest rates, essentially very coordinated. Canada lowered it one day before, then the ECB lowered it the next day, and there are more rate cuts on the way as well. But we're going to go through, are there going to be more rate cuts on the way, essentially? Next, we're going to be talking about researcher Daniel Batten and how he reveals that Bitcoin mining was never officially banned in China. Technically, it seems like China is still mining cryptocurrency, Bitcoin initially, but under the radar. Next, we're going to be talking about how Africa is doing strides right now inside the crypto space. Instead of blockchain and AI, a lot of African nations are on top of things right now, and a lot of investments are being made in Africa. Beforehand, a lot of investments would have been made in the Middle East. Now it seems that the tides are shifting towards Africa because a lot of countries are going there. And I'll explain what the countries are once we get to that news. Next, we're going to be talking about regarding CBDCs and essentially the NTT data that's came out. Then we're going to be talking about on tonight's live show regarding Telos, which is a blockchain that I've only looked into once, but it came up back on my radar because they've just made a huge list of partnerships and integrations, which is amazing for Telos. Next, we're going to be talking about Franklin Templeton. Now, Franklin Templeton, I explained to everyone that Franklin Templeton on the night before live show, I explained to everyone that Franklin Templeton wants to start shifting and moving away from Bitcoin and only Ethereum. Because Franklin Templeton wants diversification when it comes to blockchains, crypto assets, in other words. And Franklin Templeton is going to be starting a giant crypto fund. Now, Franklin Templeton, when I revealed the news, never explained which cryptocurrencies they're going to be choosing to put inside their fund. But now I know which crypto projects Franklin Templeton is heading towards or spearheading towards. And Franklin Templeton is a $1.3 trillion assets under management firm. $1.3 trillion. And now I know which cryptocurrencies they're headed towards to start shifting, away from just Bitcoin, just Ethereum to more cryptocurrencies. And I know the list of cryptocurrencies now. Next, we're going to be talking about a new Ripple partner as well on tonight's live show. A major Ripple partner has been announced. And then we're going to be talking about some other things. Now, those are the news that we're going to be going through on tonight's live show. As we get closer and closer to the end of the live show, it's going to be, more bullish as we go along. We're going to start off with the information news that you should know about, a hack compromisation that's happened essentially that you should know about. And then we go into the information news, and then we go into perspective news, and then we go into partnership and integration news. So I've laid it out step by step. So welcome to the CMF live show. If you're watching this for the first time ever, on this live show, on the CMF live show, I talk about recent things that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrency news, CBDC news, AI news, regulations, politics, and how the world is shifting into a digital era. We also do Q&As as well on this live show, which means you give me the questions inside the comment sections and I give you the answers, and I read everybody's comments one by one. We are live just like usual on X and on YouTube at the exact same time. And the disclaimer of this live show, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So, welcome to CMF Live Show. If you're new and if you're regular, let's go CMF. And by the way, thank you so much to everyone that's been retweeting this live show and liking this live show as well. Now, let's go to the comment section first, and then we'll go to the first news. Scott, good to see you. How are you doing? Hope it's good to see you as well. Mav, good to see you. Hit the like. Let's go. Solomon, hey Miles and CMF, let's go. How you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, Miles. Let's go, Scott. Hyper Sniper, good to see you as well. How you doing, brother? Hi, Miles. Jim, good to see you as well. How you doing, Jim? Troy, good to see you as well. How you doing? Miles, if one sells some XRP during price action after case is over, would it be possible to repurchase any sold XRP after a price reduction? Yes, you should be able to, unless they halt trading for XRP. That's the only exception, that you might not be able to repurchase it if they halt trading for any particular reason. Good evening, Emaus and CMF Orphan. Good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Mike, good day, Miles and CMF. Good to see you as well, Mike. How you doing? Franklin likes XLM is what Messi's saying. How are you doing, Miles? How are you? I'm doing great, Sam. Good to see you as well. How you been? So, first news to go from tonight's live show is regarding CoinGecko. Mainly because a lot of people inside the crypto space use CoinGecko, and you could be one of those people that's using it. Now, CoinGecko is similar to CMC, CoinMarketCap, where you register for an account with your email and password, and then you set up your own crypto portfolio. Well, it seems like CoinGecko has been compromised, and a lot of emails and passwords are now compromised on CoinGecko. CoinGecko suffers a data breach through a third-party service provider. The crypto data algorithm firm, CoinGecko, has experienced a data breach through one of its third-party service providers. While no CoinGecko users' accounts were compromised in this incident, the hack essentially assessed vital user personal information, which they employed in launching a wide-scale phishing attack, which means, yes, they were compromised. but they're trying to ease everyone into it. So about 1.9 million plus users, or essentially contacts, was stolen in this breach. According to the security notice, CoinGecko claimed that the hackers gained access to an employee's account at GetResponse, an email marketing platform, leading to a high level of unusual activity. The team at GetResponse confirmed the attack, stating that a data compromise had occurred. Through this hack, the bad actors transferred out of 1.9 million plus contacts from the CoinGecko GetResponse account before proceeding to send phishing emails to 23,000 plus of these contacts using another GetResponse account. For context, phishing email represents a fraudulent email designed to deceive an unexpected recipient into revealing particularly sensitive or important information. In this case, such information could be particularly detrimental, leading to a loss of assets, of your crypto assets. However, through their fast response, the malicious emailing activity was quickly detected and halted by CoinGecko in collaboration with GetResponse. However, data of certain users, including personal information such as username, email address, etc., and metadata such as account sign-up data and subscriptions, have been obtained by the hackers. Notably, the data breach at CoinGecko occurred on the same day following an alert from Tether's CEO stating that an established email vendor properly used by the crypto firms have been compromised. We received 2 independent confirmations that a prominent vendor used by crypto companies to manage mailing lists might have been compromised. To mitigate the potential damage from this incident, CoinGecko has reached out to all the users affected by the data breach. Furthermore, the crypto data firm has commenced an investigation into the attack in partnership with GetResponse. CoinGecko all users to essentially excessive caution in opening emails from strangers. So if you have received recently an email from CoinGecko, and if you use CoinGecko, that's probably a scammer's email because they have your details in terms of your email address and your name, and maybe some other things that you might have handed over. In particular, they have warned against engaging with any email that claims to offer token airdrops by CoinGecko or Gecko Terminal. Commenting on the incident, CoinGecko's co-founder and chief operating officer, Bobby, has emphasized similar warnings, saying, "Unfortunately, GetResponse has confirmed that we are one of the impacted accounts that suffered a breach. This is a targeted supply chain attack on our email newsletter software vendor. There is no CoinGecko token being planned, so don't be duped by phishing emails." So, if you use CoinGecko and you randomly received an email from CoinGecko saying airdrops, free airdrops, or CoinGecko token, or something like that, it's not CoinGecko. CoinGecko was now just compromised. About 1.9 million email addresses, full names, metadatas, IP addresses, everything was leaked through CoinGecko. So if you're using CoinGecko, you're registered to CoinGecko, please be careful. If you do receive an email, it's not CoinGecko's email. It's the hacker's email that knows who you are. Now, another issue is if you're the type of person that uses essentially the same email and the same password for pretty much everything, don't do that. That's the easiest way that you can become compromised with any account that you have. So I know a lot of people that use the same email and the same password, for example, to sign up to CoinGecko, and the same email and the same password to sign into an exchange. Never do that. Always have a different password, or even preferably a different email for exchanges, and a different email for your personal life, and a different email for your work life. So please be careful, essentially. Never use the same password for all logins. Never use the same email for all logins, because if one becomes compromised, they all become compromised. And you should always do two-factor authentication as well. You should always do two-factor authentication, essentially with Google, essentially, and all exchanges offer two-factor authentication as well, which is a good thing. Please do it. And if you receive an email from CoinGecko, it's not CoinGecko. So, I don't use the same password for everything. Because if one exchange becomes compromised, they all become compromised. Now, the next news to go through on tonight's live show is regarding MicroStrategy and Saylor. Before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. Stormy, good to see you as well. How you doing, Stormy? How you been? What factors would be in play for a possible hold on XRP purchase? Well, they can halt trading because they have the right to do, not the right to do that, but they can halt trading and nobody will second guess them or ask them any questions. It's something that happens. You got to remember the entire market is manipulated pretty much. You know, the stock market is manipulated, crypto market is manipulated, Wall Street in general is manipulated, London Stock Exchange is manipulated. Every market space is manipulated. You've always got to remember that. So they don't need a scenario to halt trading. They just halt trading, and nobody will second guess them or ask them any questions. The SEC will never look into it either. Anna, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, CMF and Miles. How are you guys doing? Let's go. Dazzle, how you doing, brother? How you been? I received an email from CoinGecko to be careful on opening any strange messages. That's good that CoinGecko are doing that. What's up, brother Miles and CMF? Billo, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been, brother? It's a scam? Yeah. Regarding CoinGecko situation, yes. Should unsubscribe to that email? Most likely, yes. CMF, please take it from me. I lost nearly $1,100 in an airdrop. I beg you to please be cautious. Yes, Scott, thank you so much for sharing that story. And it takes a lot of courage because a lot of people wouldn't share that story. But Scott was duped by a scammer once where he thought he was receiving an airdrop. And Scott obviously never received his airdrop, but he paid $1,100 for it. And he never received an airdrop because there was never any airdrop to start with. But that is a common scam inside the crypto space. Greetings everyone from Las Vegas, where Trump had standing room, only an event while temperatures above 100. Wow. Leroy, good to see you. How you doing? That is incredibly hot. Good to see you as well. Leroy, perfect timing because you're perfect timing in for the second news of tonight's live show, which is this one. MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor. MicroStrategy Michael Saylor makes Bitcoin Satoshi statement details. Obviously, we know and we're fully aware of that. You know, Michael Saylor is very big on Bitcoin and some cryptocurrencies nowadays, but his entire company is a Bitcoin company, and he's always giving, you know, words of encouragement when the market is down or any sort of a way. But the market seems to be rebounding, essentially because we're getting close to Monday, and Monday trading opens for Wall Street, and Wall Street comes in with the ETF money. Now, Michael Saylor, the chairman of the MicroStrategy and prominent advocate for Bitcoin, recently made a compelling statement about the persona creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. In a tweet, Michael Saylor invoked the spirit of Satoshi, declaring that Satoshi started a fire in the cyberspace. Speaking metaphorically, Saylor describes Satoshi's creation of Bitcoin as starting a fire in the cyberspace, highlighting the revolutionary impact of this digital asset on the world. Satoshi's vision was to create a decentralized peer-to-peer electronic cash system that operates independently of central authorities. This vision has seen essentially evolved into a global phenomenon, with Bitcoin leading the charge in the cryptocurrency revolution. The fire Saylor refers to might mean the spark of innovation that has initiated a global movement towards decentralized finance, which is true. A global movement is definitely on the way and is happening in progress. Satoshi's Bitcoin creation obviously undoubtedly initiated a transformative force in the digital world, reshaping how we think about money, value, and decentralization. So, Michael Saylor coming in with his words of encouragement whenever something happens inside the market space. It's good to see, you know, Michael Saylor doing this, keeping the morale up. And yes, he did. Satoshi did obviously start a fire inside the cyberspace, a fire initiation essentially to bring in this blockchain space. But good to see Michael Saylor giving words of encouragement no matter what. Now, the next news we're going to go through on tonight's live show is Charles, the founder of Cardano. The founder of Cardano is not happy, mainly because Cardano is not getting the respect it deserves, according to the founder of Cardano, from the media. The media is calling Cardano a boring project, a project that never moves, a project that will do nothing, and Cardano's founder is not having it. He's fed up, and he's come out and put some words out to the media, which we'll go through from his perspective. But before we do that, let me just read this comment here. Miles, I keep seeing videos of XRP signing quit a few partnerships, which is bullish, but the price don't even budge, not movements at all. Okay, regarding what you've got to understand, it's a very simple maneuver. So, regarding what Funky Brother has said, the question that Funky Brother is essentially asked is a question that everybody will ask inside the crypto space, which is, you know, he said, Funky Brother said, Miles, I keep seeing videos of XRP signing a new partnership, which is bullish, but the price don't move. Not moments at all, not even an inch, for example. So XRP or Ripple keeps on doing new partnerships, but the price doesn't move. Well, there's a very simple answer to that. You see, in the corporate world, when two companies come together to do a partnership, the price don't move. What actually happens is before a partnership is declared, essentially, before the contracts are there, there's a lot of testing going on. So one company will do multiple testings on multiple blockchains. Then they will choose one blockchain out of all their testing. So they will spend time, money, resources, choose the preferred blockchain for them. And in this case, it's Ripple, for example. So they sign a contract with Ripple. And then it's more time, more money, and essentially more developments and more testings until they perfect what they're creating to release it into the markets. And then you will see the price movements. That's the reality of how business works. In the movies, when two companies do a contract, the next day the market goes skyrocketing and everybody becomes a millionaire and buys a Ferrari or a Bugatti Veyron and goes to Monaco. In reality, two companies come together, they do multiple testing, spend time, money, and resources, they sign a contract. And then they spend more money, more time, resources, and whatever they're building, once it becomes to a stage for them to release it, is when you see the price movement happening. That's the real world of business. In Hollywood, it's two companies coming together, sign a contract, the next day the price goes through the roof, everybody's a millionaire, happy days. That's not reality, that's Hollywood. In the real world, in the business world, completely different. So that's why when you see Ripple sign a partnership, and people from the retail section, essentially everybody has this question. Everybody will ask, Ripple signing a new partnership, but the price don't move. That would just explain to me that you don't understand how the corporate world operates in reality, which is fair enough. And I appreciate the question, Frankie brother, because a lot of people wouldn't even ask that question. They would just say, XRP never moved again, new partnership, and they'll just flick it off as a joke. But you genuinely wanted to know, and I appreciate you for asking that question, genuinely wanted to know what happens. That's what happens. Two companies come together, money, time, resources, sign a contract. Then, money, time, resources, building whatever they're creating, and then you see the price action. Not when they sign the paperwork, the news comes out. So that's what happens in reality. But in Hollywood, it's two companies come together, sign a contract, everybody becomes a millionaire tomorrow. That's not what happens in reality. If that was true, do you know the amount of contracts I've signed? Every contract should have made me $1 million. But that's not how it really works. I sign contracts all the time. Do you think the price goes through the roof for my company, for my startup company tomorrow? No. I go into deep development mode for about 6 months or a year or 2 years. So that's where people gotta, come out of, stop mixing reality with La La Land or Hollywood land. Just come back to reality. Thank you, brother. I'm hoping that answers your question. Argentina partners with Adder is good news. Yes, that's good news. And we're about to go through that as well. Let's go, Leroy. Dazzle, let's go. So, Charles. Charles criticizes media unfair coverage of Cardano. The founder of Cardano is not happy the way Cardano is being addressed in the media as a project that never moves, essentially is a project that's waste of a time and so on. So Charles, the founder of Cardano, has voiced his frustration over what he perceives as unfair media coverage of the blockchain network. In a recent post on X, he highlighted the disconnect between Cardano's capabilities and its public perception. Charles pointed out that despite numerous positive developments in recent months, media outlets and crypto influencers persistently portray Cardano as a failure. And Cardano's founder is not having it anymore. He wants to voice his opinion and say Cardano is not a dying project, it's a project that's doing amazing things. He criticized this narrative, emphasizing recent ecosystem advancements, including the upcoming hard fork. Charles also further asserted that Cardano will continue to thrive and provide solutions. He said it's beyond pathetic and just reflects on the low quality and low effort they put into our ecosystems. Cardano is here to stay, is what Charles said. And it's that it will drag this industry kicking and screaming if it has to towards solving the real world economic, political, and social issues we all face. In response to the perceived bias, Charles creating a not-for-profit media decentralized autonomous organization, DAO in other words, Charles said that DAO would focus on ensuring fair reporting within the crypto industry. So Cardano's founder has developed his own DAO that, in his perspective, is going to be cleaning up the media space, which is needed. I mean, the Wall Street Journal is complete full of BS when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Let's just be honest, head to toe, the Wall Street Journal has never laid out any sort of facts. It just bashes the crypto space with fake numbers. And the Wall Street Journal doesn't understand that blockchain is public. So when the Wall Street Journal says this much amount of money has been going to illicit activities in the crypto space, they don't realize it's public, which means chain analysis always comes and corrects Wall Street for lying. And Wall Street always has to re-edit their news articles. Interesting enough. So he initiated a poll on X to gauge community support for using the Cardano treasury to fund the DAO. Notably, 70% of respondents favor the move, with voting expected to end by July 13th. Meanwhile, this is not the first time Charles has addressed Cardano's critics. The blockchain has faced scrutiny for not meeting expectations compared to its peers like Ethereum and Solana, and complaints over its ADA token price struggles. Earlier this year, Forbes included Cardano in its zombie chain list, claiming the network's value is primarily driven by Charles' popularity. Additionally, Cardano has limited adoption in decentralized finance, with its DEX trading volume representing just 0.04% of the market. But yet, this is essentially ADA coming out to tell the media to stop bashing on Cardano. Cardano is a great project from Charles's perspective, and it's going to achieve great things. But I do like the idea that it's created on DAOs, trying to clean up the media. That needs to be done, because the media is full of BS. But yeah, that needs to be done. I've been holding XRP. So the next news, by the way, to go through on tonight's live show is regarding a CEO's perspective. So Wintermute CEO came out and said, if Ethereum collapses, is a perspective, not my perspective, a CEO's perspective. If Ethereum collapses, it will collapse because of this, not because of Solana, is what he said. And we're going to go through what he means exactly by that. But before we do that, let's go inside the comment section first. If you're new on this live show, I do, news, comments, back and forth. So if you have a question or a comment, put it down inside the comment section. Let's see where we were. I've been holding XRP bags for over 2 years and still waiting. It's a little frustrating. Yeah, I've been holding way longer than that, and it's not frustrating for me. It shouldn't be frustrating for you either. But you do, you can always jump out and jump back in if you want to. Obviously, not financial advice in any sort of way. But if you understand what you're holding, then it shouldn't be frustrating for you. I've been holding for more than 2 years, way more than 2 years. So it shouldn't be frustrating if you know what you hold. You should only be frustrated of an asset if you don't know what it is or what it's going to achieve. But if you know this particular asset that you're holding is going to achieve something absolutely amazing, then you shouldn't be frustrated in any sort of a way. But if you don't know what it's going to achieve, then I understand the frustration. But if you know what it's going to achieve, then there should be no frustration. When CBDCs will be implemented in most countries, then we will see the price move. That's also in terms of tokenization. He just upset because he spent millions on looking for aliens he didn't find. Lol. I'm recording Cardano's founder. Yeah. ADA has the biggest online government. True. Charles has endorsed Robert F. Kennedy for US president. Also true. Facts. Let's go dazzle. So, the next news to go from tonight's live show is this one. Wintermute CEO has given his perspectives on Ethereum. And again, not my perspectives, but Wintermute CEO's essentially perspective. He said if Ethereum collapses, it will collapse because of this, not because of Solana. Wintermute CEO Evingi recently shared his thoughts on the future of Ethereum, stating that if it fails, it won't be because of this. It won't be because of Solana is faster, essentially, he's saying. Because a lot of people are saying, Solana is the Ethereum killer. But according to this CEO, if Ethereum comes to a failing situation, it's not because of Solana. It's because of, we're going to get into it. So instead, he believes the failure will come from Ethereum elite being left in deep conflict. What he means by that is, if Ethereum fails, his perspective, not mine, but if Ethereum fails, it's not because Solana is faster and cheaper and it's the Ethereum killer. No, he's saying if Ethereum fails, is because of who's behind Ethereum, the political situation that's going on with Ethereum. And if the policies and the politics that are going around Ethereum aren't happy at certain stages, that will probably be the reason and downfall of Ethereum. He noted that blockchain technology is impressively suited to creating entirely capitalist insensitive based systems. However, he suggested that many influential figures in the Ethereum community, including Vitalik Buterin and Hayden Adams, are trying to fix the capitalism in Ethereum. These people argue that the dignity of what they create depends on whether the goal is worthwhile, citing healthcare, open source software, art, and other socially beneficial outcomes as worthy ends, according to Gavi. Gavi also stated that these people believed that the most entrepreneurs in the field are motivated by positive social change, and argued that there was a paradox. You will either establish capitalism or planned socialism. I'm sorry, but you can't have it both ways. And what again he means by that regarding Ethereum, this particular CEO, is Ethereum's trying to play the political card and, where also the decentralized card. He's trying to say, the CEO of Wintermute has came out and given his perspective. He's basically trying to say Ethereum has to choose a route. Either continue with the political route it's on and use that in its favor to climb the ladder, or completely go decentralized and come out of the politics. But you can't be the person that plays the politic card and the person that plays essentially the decentralized part. That's nobody controls us. But in reality, you have too much politics going on at the same time. So Gavi stated that it is a paradox to try to combine these two fundamentally different economic systems on the same platform. Makes absolutely no sense, which I agree. You have to choose one. You can't play the political card when you want to, and then play the nobody controls us card when you want to as well. That's not how it works. You got to choose one side, and if one side isn't happy, then that one side can drag you down. And obviously, the politic card is a stronger card. And if you don't keep those political situations happy, then yes, that could be a downfall. Not because of Solana's faster or so on, in terms of Ethereum killer. Not because of that. But yeah, I agree. If it breaks it down, it's definitely going to be the politics. Now, the next news to go through. It's a good perspective regarding CEO, but again, not my perspective, his perspective. Just listening to it, giving my opinion essentially. Uniswap is the next news to go through on tonight's live show. And it's from Uniswap's CEO, Hayden Adams. He calls for an end to Ethereum gas fee worries. So now you might be thinking to yourself, this is great. Uniswap CEO is coming out and saying an end to Ethereum gas fee worries. Does this mean that Ethereum is going to get rid of the gas fees? No, not really. What it actually means is Hayden Adams has came out and said, so what, Ethereum's expensive? Who cares? Hayden Adams, regarded as one of the central brains behind the success of Uniswap, has recently exclaimed that Ethereum users should quit worrying about gas fees. This marks a noticeable shift in the discussion surrounding Ethereum's high transaction cost. Considering that other emerging platforms like Solana have lesser fees, Adams' declaration comes during an intense debate over the cost of Ethereum transactions, which has been further fueled by public figures such as Saylor. Now, if you don't know what this means right now, a lot of celebrities are coming out of nowhere and they're creating these tokens and so on. And these tokens are creating congestion on the Ethereum chain. Celebrity tokens are bringing down the entire Ethereum chain, essentially in terms of gas fees. And a lot of people were arguing and saying, how can these random celebrity tokens bring so much congestion for Ethereum's chain? This is pathetic. And he said, essentially, CEO of Uniswap said, so what? Ethereum gas fees are expensive. Who cares? Well, if people are coming to you and telling you it's creating congestion and it's expensive, I think they care. I'll be honest, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. If people are coming to you and saying it's expensive, and your response as a CEO of a company is, who cares if it's expensive? I mean, what could you even possibly say to that? It's like talking to a brick wall. So, the recent comments have propelled discussions about the use and impact of gas fees. Despite some inaccuracies regarding their distribution, this highlighted the bigger question about the sustainability and significant transaction costs on Ethereum network. Ethereum fee structure fixed. Meanwhile, some Ethereum developers like Vitalik Buterin have been working towards these challenges. Last month, Vitalik Buterin introduced an EIP7706. The proposal would trim gas costs by allowing more function calls upon a given call data during transaction execution. It may define its fee market for a call data transaction and reduce user costs. You see that they use the word "it may" because I never did. Meanwhile, Uniswap keeps on performing well throughout all these blockage issues. The total commissions the platform has generated are valued at over $3.64 billion. This is why the CEO of Uniswap doesn't care the gas fees are too expensive on Ethereum, because he's making a profit of $3.64 billion because of the high gas fees on Ethereum. Of course, the CEO of Uniswap doesn't care, and he's telling other people, who cares? It's too expensive. So what? Because he's making $3.64 billion in the gas fees. With that, which was realized in the last month, alone being over $65.95 million. Just last month, Uniswap on the gas fees made about $65.95 million. As Ethereum continues to evolve, initiatives like EIP7706 could play a crucial role in sustaining its competitive edge by reducing user costs and enhancing transaction efficiency. With influential figures like Adams, I don't know how he's an influential figure. If you're an influential figure, especially a CEO of a company like Uniswap, let's just say in this sense, you can't turn around and say to the public, who cares, it's expensive. Advocating for lower fees, Ethereum's trajectory seems poised for developments that could reshape its market dynamics. The CEO of Uniswap has no respect for any of the users using Uniswap. He's fully aware it's too expensive. And his response is, I don't care. Well, isn't that a great CEO of a company? What an absolute tool. I was going to use a different word, but I can't. So I have to use the word tool instead. What an absolute CUNT. Ethereum is like somebody going to church and then going to rob a bank afterward, trying to pay every card. Pretty much. Hi Miles, how you doing? I'm doing great, Nizar. How you doing? Are you still on TikTok Live? No, we only do X and YouTube Lives due to freedom of speech. On TikTok, I never had freedom of speech. When I was talking about CBDCs and so on, TikTok used to always ban the live for talking about CBDCs. But on X, because of Elon Musk, thank you Elon Musk as usual, I can talk about, I have freedom of speech on X and so on, and we're on YouTube as well at the same time. Miles, does this manipulation ever end? And this is episode, by the way, 82. So we've been doing 82 episodes right now, back to back, every day on X and on YouTube. And it's episode 82. Miles, does this manipulation ever end, considering this is a brand new monetary system developing and it seems the elites are still in control of manipulation or politics or benefiting any time? Regarding the manipulation that's inside the market space, no, the manipulation will never end. Even in a brand new monetary system, the manipulation will be a lot more. In a brand new monetary system, the system that we're going to be shifting over to is going to be more manipulated, heavily more manipulated because of CBDCs and social credit systems, which is topics that was discussed in the World Economic Forum. So, no, we're going to be way more manipulated, if you talk about that sense of the shift that's happening. That CEO needs to go and hang with Gary, who says something like that. He's probably making money in the back. There's big money. Yep, there is. I agree with you, brother, is what Sam said to JP. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show is the merge that's happening inside the crypto space. There's a massive merge happening inside the crypto space. In terms of 3 AI projects coming together. And I talked about this happening when it was announced, and I'm talking to you about it again because some news has came out of it. So everybody knows, and if you didn't know, Fetch AI, Singularity Net, and Ocean Protocol are coming together. So we have some new updates of what's happening. The ASI is what it's going to be called. The ASI Alliance reveals their ASI logo and explains AI centralization versus decentralization. The merger of AI-focused protocols, Fetch AI, SingularityNet, and Ocean Protocol, to form the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. Completion is just a few days from completion, so only a few days away from the actual announcement. The project has just announced via their X account that they have a logo for the token. The emblem of the ASI reportedly symbolizes the token's merger of SingularityNet, Fetch AI, and Ocean Protocol, representing the unity, the project's strengths, and the dawns of new era in AI. The official announcement also revealed that by combining all of their resources, these projects are set to create a force to challenge big tech's control over AI development. According to the message on X, the ASI Alliance ensures that AI advancements benefits all humankind, not just a select few corporations. Already, ASI hasn't been released yet, and they're already throwing digs at the corporate section in terms of Wall Street and so on. In terms of Nevada, they're trying to go after it, and Microsoft with OpenAI and so on. So ASI hasn't opened their doors yet. In a few days, they will open their doors. ASI essentially Ocean Protocol, Fetch AI, and Singularity Nets, but they're already throwing digs inside of Wall Street and saying, we're the best because those corporations only care about themselves, which is true. It's a true dig, I would have to say. The ASI Alliance also invited followers to join the project in pushing their boundaries of AI, working towards a future where technology enhances the lives of everyone. A unique opportunity for challenging and outpacing big tech. So the team at ASI Alliance noted in a message that ASI token merge presents a unique opportunity to challenge and potentially even outpace the big centralized tech companies by the power of decentralization. The team says that it will create a more transparent and innovative AI landscape. The ASI Alliance also told followers that we will grow up watching sci-fi movies and wondering about the future. And today we are living in it. And we are coming together, building the next stage. They are really putting big words in there to get the ball rolling. The merger of AI-focused protocols, Fetch AI, SingularityNet, and Ocean Protocol to form the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, ASI, will be completed on June 13th. A few days ago, the team of ASI Alliance also presented the key benefits of decentralization in terms of AI. Centralized versus decentralized AI. Also recently, the team at essentially ASI Alliance posted some key differences. Now, these are the key differences they posted. They noted that centralized AI is developed and controlled by big tech and has the following risk. Again, they're trying to throw dig essentially at Wall Street, at the big corporations like Microsoft and OpenAI, Nevada, and so on. So they're saying big tech companies with their AI systems are bad because of data monopolization, which essentially involved power and data in the hands of few, risking privacy and autonomy. They're trying to say the data can be manipulated. The response that you get from OpenAI, for example, owned by Microsoft, will be a response that might not be the response you're looking for, but a response that they're going to be giving you. Bias and manipulation are the words. Bias and manipulation referring to the potential for embedded bias and misuse for manipulative processes. Single point of failure, meaning that the centralized systems are more to attacks and outages and essentially posing risk to functionality and security. Decentralized AI, on the other hand, involves a distribution of AI power across various stakeholders. This means the following: enhanced privacy and security, reducing risk of massive data breaches and misuse, inexclusivity and diversification, encouraging a broader participation base, mitigating biases, and fostering a more AI landscape, resilience, meaning that a decentralized network is less prone to attacks and system failures. The ASI Alliance also noted that adapting decentralized structures for AI developments is not just about eliminating risk, but about creating a more secure and resilient technological future. I said this before and I'll say it again. The reason why these three crypto projects, these quite big three crypto projects in terms of AI, came together and did this merger of the super intelligence alliance of AI is because they're trying to survive. It's a sign of innovation, but at the same time, it's a sign of weakness. They only came together to be able to survive. If they survive, they can achieve amazing things. But eventually, they'll be brought out by big tech. The same big tech they're bashing right now, and same big tech companies like Microsoft and OpenAI are biased and manipulating data. And the questions you ask them, these same big tech companies will most likely buy out ASI when it gets to a certain stage, anyways. To be fairly honest. But I fully understand, yes, some of the responses you would get from OpenAI, for example, are sometimes biased. That's been proven many times. But yeah, I hope the project does extremely well. And anybody else is holding it, I hope you do incredibly well as well, making quite a lot of money for yourself. Now, the next news to go through is regarding BNY Mellon. BNY Mellon recently did a report on, are there any family offices coming inside the crypto space and doing heavy investments? Turns out there is. And we're going to go through it. Before we go through it, let's go inside the comment section first. Hey Miles, how are you doing today? How you doing? I own 2 of these coins. How would that work of my position? Daniel, good to see you. So how you doing? So if you do own SingularityNet, Fetch AI, or Ocean Protocol, on June 13th, they're going to be going through a situation where it's going to be turned into one token. And how it's going to work is the amount of, for example, let's just say in this scenario, you have Ocean, for example. You have Ocean Protocol, for example. And let's say you have 10,000 Ocean Protocol tokens. It will tell you, essentially, your 10,000 tokens of Ocean Protocol will equal to this much ASI tokens. And then you would have to do a swap. That swap, obviously, you're paying the gas fees for it. So you'll be handing that in and receiving your new tokens. You'll be paying the gas fees for it. Essentially what will happen. And they will tell you most likely to keep it in a certain wallet where they can do this, or in a certain exchange where they can do this. Preferably exchanges are always better. Option number 2, sell, jump back in with the new token, but not right at the beginning. So when they do this, let me just tell you what will happen. When this new token announces, essentially on June 13th, ASI comes out. This will exactly what will happen. ASI will come out and there'll be massive airdrops happening, where everybody's giving their tokens in, their old tokens, getting the new token. And because of that massive airdrop, the chart will shoot up on ASI because everybody's receiving airdrops. And then the chart will shoot back down because everybody will sell from the airdrops. And then it will go a little bit sideways and then start to pick up slowly. And if you want to jump back in, is when you jump back in is here. Not when they're doing the airdrops. When it comes back down, everybody sells because of the airdrop. That's when you want to be jumping in before it goes more sideways and up. So option 2 is sell, jump back in if you want to as well. Now, because that's what will happen always. I've been in the crypto space for so long. I've seen so many airdrops, so many initiative merger projects. What ASI, what SingularityNet, Ocean Protocol, and Fetch AI are achieving, and they're calling it innovative. Mergers happen all the time inside the crypto space. The previous one was Beam, where a merger with another gaming project, and so on. So this kind of thing always happens in the airdrop situation. It pumps up the token, comes back down, goes sideways for a little bit, and starts climbing back up again. That's exactly what will happen. So option 2 is sell. Option 1 is hold it where they tell you to hold it. Preferably, if you want to hold it, go to their pages, their official pages on X, and keep yourself updated on what the next steps are. If you're keeping it, Miles, can you see Sandbox hitting $15 in a bull run this year or next year? Possible. Nothing's off limits, especially not this time around. With all the money coming in from the corporate section, nothing's off limits. Especially for utility projects, nothing's off limits. So, family offices grappling with cryptocurrency investments. BNY Mellon. Family offices known for their entrepreneurial spirit are embracing new investment opportunities. Through cryptocurrency accounts by 5% of their portfolios. An allocation that would have been unthinkable a decade ago They remain strikingly split over the role of the asset class. According to a recently published 2024 BNY Mellon Wealth Management Study, approximately 39% of the surveyed family offices. Now, family offices have a lot of money to play around with, immense amount of money to play around with. So 39% of the surveyed family offices are either actively investing in cryptocurrencies or considering them, highlighting a keen interest in this modern asset class, which is extremely bullish. Various motivations are driving the investment decisions. Now, this is a 2024 study that just came out right now from BNY Mellon's essentially wealth management study. And there's massive interest happening right now. Various motivations are driving the investment decisions of the family offices exploring cryptocurrencies. More than half cite the desire to stay current with emerging investment trends and opportunities. Imagine that. Because it is true, a decade ago, these family offices would never think about diversifying into such volatile assets. But now they're saying we want to keep up with the trends and keep up with the innovation opportunities. Additionally, 30% or more attribute their interest in digital assets to the influence of the current leadership or the next generation within the family office. However, some professionals remain hesitant about investing in the asset class. Hacking and cybercrime concerns emerge as the top challenges cited by those reluctant to allocate funds to them. True to their entrepreneurial nature, family offices are showing themselves ready and willing to move into new and emerging opportunities. Cryptocurrency account for 5% of their portfolios, an allocation that would have been unthinkable a decade ago from family offices. In January 2024, when the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) granted the approval for the first ETFs that directly invest in the Bitcoin, this regulatory green light paved the way for those assets to become more widely accepted and accessible investment vehicles in the mainstream financial markets. Despite this, overwhelming 74% also point to an unclear regulatory environment as a barrier to investing in cryptocurrencies, with this figure rising to 80% among non-US respondents. Yeah, a lot of things are happening right now. And also according to a BNY Mellon wealth management study that just came out, 2024 report, family offices are eager to jump inside the crypto space. And it is true. A decade ago, it was unthinkable for these types of family offices to be coming with this much amount of wealth and going for cryptocurrencies, an asset class that was a joke. But now we have, essentially, according to a new study by BNY Mellon, they're coming in. And they want to keep up with the times. They want to keep up with the trends. They want to keep up with the innovation that's happening. Before, they would have never called the crypto space innovation. The crypto space before was a joke, not an innovation place for these types of people. But now, it's an innovation type of place, which is great to hear. Which means more money. And it means more money towards, essentially, utility projects. If you're wondering, are they going to be going for camel token? No, they're going to be going for utility projects. Not frog token or camel token, but utility projects. Sometimes they do diversify into some random projects as well, but they're aiming for the utility ones, most likely, because I have some other data to go through as well, which will prove what BNY Mellon said. Now, the next news to go through, which ironically is the data that I was going to tell you. Real-world asset tokens outshine Bitcoin and Ethereum in performance. Look at that. Real-world asset tokens are outshining Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of performance, according to the data. But before we go through that, let's start the comment section first. Do we need to move Fetch AI out of my cold storage wallet? Yes, they're not going to be able to do it in your cold storage wallet now. Okay, thanks, Daniel. No problem. I think Fetch switch on the 11th and the other two on the 13th. I have owned Ocean and Fetch AI. I owned Ocean Protocol and I sold that. The moment I heard the news, I sold it all. I thought if I'm going to jump back in, I'll just jump back in a new token instead of doing airdrops. Yeah. Preferably, I don't like sharing my wallet too many times with these airdrop situations either. But yeah, that's what I did. Now, Real-world asset tokens outshine Bitcoin and Ethereum in performance. Real-world assets tokenizations, RWA in other words, has emerged as the top performing sector in May, eclipsing the growth of the likes of Ethereum and Bitcoin. The data from Artemis Terminal, a leading crypto analyst platform, reveals that tokens in the RWA tokenization landscape achieved a 61.98% performance over the past month. This average percentage growth outpaced Ethereum's 26.1% and Bitcoin's 14%. Interestingly, tokens in the Bitcoin ecosystem performed more commendably than BTC itself, with an average growth rate of 22.2% native assets of centralized exchanges, followed with the performance score of 12.8%. Meanwhile, meme-based coins registered only a 7% growth over the past month. All of the crypto narratives, the RWA sector stood essentially with a touring performance. The surge in real-world tokenizations, real-world asset tokenizations, is attributed to a series of high-profile tokenizations, encouraging regulatory discussions that have occurred recently. So, according to new data from Artemis Terminal, a leading crypto analyst platform, analytic platform, which is true, they are one of the leadings. The recent data has came out that real-world asset tokenization projects, in other words, are actually outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. Utility projects are outperforming the Bitcoin Ethereum situation, which is an interesting thing to essentially point out, which perfectly aligns with what BNY Mellon was saying as well, because the BNY Mellon study is they're coming in for utility purposes, not just to have a look around. And that's extremely bullish as well. Now, next news. The European Central Bank is what we're going to go through. The European Central Bank and Bank of Canada. Before we do that, let's go to the comment section first. Miles, persons owning Fetch, Ocean, and Singularity need to do what at this time? If you own SingularityNet, Fetch AI, and Ocean Protocol, you have to right now go, well, not right now, after the live show. After the live show, you know what? I'll do this instead. So, if you own SingularityNet, Fetch, and Ocean Protocol, on the CMF Telegram group, on the Telegram group of this live show, I will post the actual accounts of Fetch AI on X, because there's so many fake ones. I'll post the account of Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, and SingularityNet, and the new token of ASI with their logo. Go to their pages and follow them and turn on your notifications. They will be tweeting out step-by-step maneuvers of how to do things, of how to do an airdrop situation, to get your new tokens and so on, and how to pay the gas fees. So inside the CMF Telegram group, after the live show, I'll put the links of all the X pages, official X pages. Follow them, turn on your notifications. Up until June 13th, some maneuvers are going to be happening. So if you want to keep them and do the airdrop situation, then that's how you have to do it. If you want to sell them, jump back in, then obviously sell them and then jump back in after the airdrop situation and shoot back down, and then you buy before it goes a little bit more up again. But yeah, I'll post their accounts on the Telegram group of this live show. By the way, if anybody wants to, you can join the Telegram group of this live show as well. It's completely free. I'm not the type of person that will promote or sell anything either, so don't worry. Amazing place to be in. The Telegram link is in X if you're watching us on X, or on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. So yeah, Scott, I will do that for anybody that's holding those tokens. After the live show, straight away I'll put the links in. So, the European Central Bank, ECB, and the Bank of Canada. Recently, I told everyone on this live show that the Bank of Canada has just done essentially did the rate cuts after 5 years. And the central bank, essentially, the European Central Bank, followed the next day by doing rate cuts as well. Now, we're going to go through, are there going to be more rate cuts on the way, essentially? The European Central Bank, ECB, and the Bank of Canada have lowered their interest rates. The European Central Bank, ECB, and the Bank of Canada have recently decreased their primary interest rates, indicating a significant change in monetary policy. The European Central Bank, ECB, choice to decrease interest rates is driven by a revised inflation forecast, indicating a need to adapt monetary policy after a period of consistent rates. In spite of the persistent inflations in the Eurozone, the European Central Bank, ECB, forecast a marginal increase in inflation for the years of 2024 and 2025, while projecting stability at a 1.9% for the year of 2026. The ECB's decision to decrease rates marks its first reduction since September 2019, after a sequence of increases that started later than those implemented by other central banks. The Bank of Canada's decision to lower interest rates is intended to alleviate the financial burden of heavily indebted households and contingent upon the continuation of the ongoing deflationary tendencies. Rate cuts have a big impact on the crypto market. They definitely do. Since they decrease the borrowing cost and the consumer spending and company investments. This enhanced liquidity has the potential to regard simultaneously on investments in assets that provide better returns, such as crypto. In addition, diminished yields on conventional savings might incentivize investors to move to more speculative assets, such as cryptocurrencies, in pursuit of higher returns. Nevertheless, the European Central Bank (ECB) and the Bank of Canada (BOC) maintain a cautious stance, suggesting that any further reductions in interest rates would be contingent on the data, demonstrating a prudent strategy in light of uncertain economic circumstances. Economists purpose that the European Central Bank (ECB) may delay implementing another reduction until September, whilst the Bank of Canada may take action in July. So there we go. There's essentially two new deadlines that's going to be happening. Regarding the Bank of Canada, it's going to be right around July if we're going to expect another rate cut. And regarding the European Central Bank, there's going to be a delay going on, but until September is the next rate cut we're expecting. The cautious position emphasizes the continuing economic uncertainty and the need for central banks to maintain their adaptability. So, the two deadlines for you to know about regarding what's going to be happening in terms of, are we going to have more rate cuts? How is it going to be impacting the crypto markets? Well, obviously rate cuts do impact the crypto market because either way it goes, it's typically all right for the crypto market. Well, if it goes one way, it's very good for the crypto market. If it goes the other way, it's all right for the crypto market. So if inflation goes higher, no rate cuts, then everybody runs towards crypto assets. Because crypto assets, you can get a higher yield from them, and it's better to go against inflation with crypto assets, even though they're volatile. If we do have rate cuts, then everybody will run towards the stock market, but then everybody will still venture out into cryptocurrencies in terms of utility of what's happening right now. So either way, we're good. Rate cuts are not rate cuts, but one is very good for short-term period, and the other one is very good for long-term period. Now, research. Researcher Daniel Batten reveals that Bitcoin mining was never officially banned in China. Now, everybody knows the story of Bitcoin and China. If you don't know, a very long time ago inside the crypto space, China was, all for Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. Up until they banned it on the media, is what was announced, that China is banning Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. And then they unbanned it, and then they banned it again. But when they announced the banning, or when the rumors of the banning came out, the market obviously reacted by going downwards. And then it was actually banned, and then the market reacted by going more downwards. And then the ban became an unban, and then the market reacted and went upwards. And then China actually banned it, and the market reacted and came back downwards. You see how manipulation works? Very easy. So, those essentially big mining corporations all moved to the United States, preferably Texas, which one of them is now, Marathon Digital, quite big, and also has backings from BlackRock. Now, also coincidentally, when China banned Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining and cryptocurrencies, was perfect timing where essentially they released their CBDC. The moment they officially banned it, essentially, is when they released CBDCs in China. And social credit systems. There's many documentaries about it. Now, according to one researcher, China is apparently still mining Bitcoin, but on the down low, not in public eyes. Researcher Daniel Batten reveals that Bitcoin mining was never officially banned in China. Bitcoin environmental expert Daniel Batten has disclosed that the act of Bitcoin mining in China was never formally prohibited, despite the prevalence of rumors suggesting otherwise, or the media. According to Batten's study, the ban was a temporary situation, and mining operations have mostly essentially recommenced. China accounts for around 15% of the worldwide total hash rate, which is a measure of the processing power used in Bitcoin mining. So 15% is still coming out of China. The statement contradicts the claims from May 2021, whereby news outlets alleged a comprehensive suppression of crypto transactions and minings by the Chinese government. Batten contends that the decline in hash rate was a transitionary, drawing a parallel between its students of suppression rather than expansion. According to the Cambridge data, mining activity has recovered to 19.1% of the global hash rate. Chinese mining corporations have made it clear that they are open to small-scale operations that are productive and not involved in capital flight from China. China has found creative applications for Bitcoin mining, such as using unused renewable energy and reproducing excess heat. Now, the governments often provide assistance to small-scale enterprises that promote local energy solutions while adhering to financial limits. This is something that you don't hear on the Western media, that China is still fully activated on Bitcoin mining. But they're just using renewable energies. Batten asserted that Western media has mostly distorted these dynamics, maintaining a falsified news articles and news headlines and a narrative on China's position on Bitcoin mining. Jaron, a representative from Hash Labs, agrees with this perspective, highlighting that a large scale of Bitcoin miners continue to operate in China due to the economic need for local governments. These results question the way mainstream media presents China's policies and emphasizes a consistent misconception in reporting on global Bitcoin mining laws. Because the Western media did not tell us this, ever. The last news that came out of China and Bitcoin was it was fully banned. Last year, Coinbase Exchange CEO Brian Armstrong criticized US lawmakers and regulators over their approach to bringing regulatory clarity to create in an opinion article published on Tuesday. Now, by the way, the next news we're going to go through on tonight's live show is regarding Africa and blockchain and AI. A lot of things are happening over there. But before we go through that, let's just talk about this for a second regarding the China and Bitcoin mining, because it is big news, and news that was actually hidden for quite a while. But it seems like Bitcoin mining never was fully banned in China, because local governments are still supporting Bitcoin mining, which means they're not running a massive, large, upscale operation, but they're still mining Bitcoin within the law, which is something that was never revealed from the Western media. The Western media was all the Bitcoin mining institutions moved to Texas, and now they're operating in Texas. And China banned Bitcoin. And because that news headline came out from the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times, the Forbes, and so on, China bans Bitcoin. That's when the market essentially took a deep dive. But that wasn't true, because since then until now, they have been mining Bitcoin through local governments within the law by using renewable energy. And again, they're not mining massive operations, but they're still mining within the law, which is something they missed out on the articles that they were writing in the West, where China hasn't fully banned it. They're still operating in local governments. But they forgot to mention that when they told everybody the news on the Western medias. And instead the news was over here, China bans Bitcoin mining fully. And then the market went sideways. Completely down at that time. But that wasn't true. Another key indication of how manipulation works and how the media, as usual, is completely full of BS. Thanks, Miles. Talk. Let's go. How you doing? No problem. Coin. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? The next news to go from tonight's live show is regarding Africa. So for a long time period, a lot of investments have been happening. But in the Middle East, there's been a lot of investments happening in the Middle East in terms of, blockchain, in terms of AI, in terms of developments and regulations, so on. So many things have been happening in the Middle East. But now the focus is also on Africa, in African nations. A lot of things are actually happening over there. And a lot of investment money from Western countries are actually going, and Asian countries and Middle Eastern countries are actually going towards Africa. A lot of developments are on the way over there. So why is this news good to know? Well, if you're thinking about, venturing out into startup companies or IPOs later on, you've got to keep tabs on companies before they kickstart. So, or while they kickstart. AFDB, Intel to teach AI training to millions in Africa. By the way, Russia, for example, is investing up to $100 million in Bitcoin mining facilities in Africa. Kenya's government has done a contract with Marathon Digital. Block is going over there with a ridiculous amount of $50 million to $80 million investment on Bitcoin mining operations and providing free Wi-Fi to local communities around the Bitcoin mining operation. A lot of things are happening in Africa in terms of Bitcoin mining, in terms of AI developments, in terms of blockchain developments, in terms of Web3 developments. A lot of investments are going towards Africa right now, which is a great thing to see. Honestly, it's a great thing to see. The African Development Bank, AFDB, has teamed up with the Intel to train huge numbers of Africans in cutting-edge areas like artificial intelligence, AI, robotics, and data science. According to AFDB, a whopping 3 million Africans and 30,000 government officials across the continent will get skilled up in these transformative technologies. As AI is increasingly becoming a major driver of innovation and economic growth globally, this program puts Africa at the forefront of the developing AI, which is amazing. However, it's not just about individual training. The partnership will also help African countries establish clear policies, rules around AI, 5G networks, cloud computing, and other new technologicals. Having a unified approach is seen as a key to speeding up digital transformation in Africa. The training is expected to positively impact many sectors, from agriculture to healthcare, by boosting productivity and sustainability developments. It aims to nurture skills that can improve the quality of life for Africans. While African nations are making progress in AI, there is still a skill gap compared to the global tech leaders. The high costs of AI training also limits its wider adoption outside the tech industries. Intel's Africa director welcomed the collaboration, saying it demonstrates essentially cutting-edge technologies. Intel looks forward to the furthering its collaborations with African governments to make advanced technologies such as AI accessible to all, breaking down barriers related to geography, gender, and ethnicity, and enabling widespread participation in the digital economy. Also, why is this, by the way, the next news we're going to go from tonight's live show is regarding the NTT data that's came out regarding CBDCs. But let's just focus on this for a second of what we just discussed. Yeah, a lot of investments are happening in Africa right now. Why is this also good for you if you own a crypto project? If you own a crypto project right now and you're either, a startup company or you're starting up your own crypto project or AI project and you're looking for investments, well, African countries are opening their doors to all types of projects and all types of investments right now. So if you have something that's viable and you need, some sort of funding to get it off the ground, well, these countries are much more easy deals and partnerships than the bigger firms. So if you're struggling for funding, if you want to start up a business venture inside of blockchain, Web3, AI, anything to do with that scenario, then your first approach should be these countries, African countries, because right now they are opening their doors incredibly, and they're offering a lot of tools for you to get the ball rolling. So it's easier for you to sign a contract in those countries rather than the big corporations. Because the big corporations, you have to be top-notch tier to land the project and land some money with them. But if you have something viable, these countries are more likely to look into. I'll give you an example. It's like Dubai a very long time ago. The United Arab Emirates was just sand. A very long time ago, the United Arab Emirates was just pure sand, pretty much. And then America comes along and essentially the oil business starts up. And then the oil business gets better and better and better. And the reason why Dubai is not because of what's happening with the United Arab family and so on. No, it's because American oil companies came in and made Dubai as everybody knows it. So that's exactly what's happening right now in Africa is what I'm trying to explain. The early days in Dubai was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. And then these companies came along and fixed Dubai and made it the United Arab Emirates and Dubai this and Abu Dhabi this and so on. But before it was absolutely nothing. American oil companies came and made it the way it is now. And the people who came in early into countries like Dubai were the ones that benefited from everything, who started up their businesses early, benefited the most, is what I'm trying to say. So if you have a startup company, or you have a blockchain idea, or an AI idea, or Web3 idea, you might want to be aiming for these countries right now because these African countries are getting the ball rolling right now. They're getting kickstarted. And you have countries like Russia investing $100 million, Marathon Digital doing contracts with the Kenyan government, or Block Dorsey coming in through with an $80 million investment. There's so much investments happening right now in African nations, which means it's basically the early days of the United Arab Emirates. And you might think to yourself, well, United Arab Emirates, how can you compare, African nations, for example, Dubai? Because Dubai was absolutely nothing as well a very long time ago. It was just sand. And the American nations came and fixed it. The oil companies came and made it the United Arab Emirates. Before it was nothing. So what is happening right now is they're focusing on African nations, which is great to see. But the first adapters always benefit the most in business. So I would say if you're going to do something in the business world, if you're going to do something in the blockchain world, aim for African nations now. They are much more lenient and they have a much more open door towards any blockchain ideas, towards any AI ideas, towards any Web3 ideas. So, why Miles has many countries, all of them sudden been interested in developing countries outside of the Western world. Many haven't even seen a cell phone. Well, because the reason why they're focusing on African nations right now is because they want everybody inside of a digital world. Remember, the whole point of a digital world is everybody's trapped. It's very simple. Look, we're going into a digital world right now, which means everybody needs to be inside of the digital world. Everybody. Nobody needs to be left out. Also, the reason why they're doing, immigration situation right now, they're doing mass immigration. A lot of people are saying they're doing mass immigration for voting. Look, whoever is going to be chosen next is going to be chosen next. You vote or don't vote, it don't really matter. I've always said this. I said if you vote for blue, if you vote for red, if you vote for pink, if you vote for green, it don't really matter. Who's going to be placed there is going to be placed there. And if whoever gets placed there doesn't listen, they'll replace them. It's happened more than once. So it should be a fair indication of your vote don't really matter. So, now knowing that, your vote don't really matter, the mass immigration situation also that's happening is because of CBDCs. They want everybody in this new digital world. So the words that they're putting out is, they're doing mass immigration for votes. That's not why they're doing it. They don't need your votes. Whoever's chosen next is chosen next. They're doing it because we're going into a digital world and everybody needs to be trapped in a digital world. They can't have people just roaming about, not being in CBDCs while everybody else is in CBDCs. Because the people that are not in CBDCs and just roaming about, why would they join the CBDC side after everything is implemented? No, the whole point is to get everybody inside the trick. That's right. That's why the mass immigration situation is happening. That's why they're doing investments in African nations. That's why they're doing investments in some Latin American countries. They're trying to get the ball rolling for everyone inside this digital world. Nobody needs to be left behind. And that's why they're doing mass immigration. That's why these countries are just opening their doors and saying, welcome immigrants, because they want everybody on CBDCs. And the reason why the UK is sending people to Rwanda. So if you don't know, the UK is sending immigrants to Rwanda. You know why they're sending it to Rwanda? Because Rwanda also has, one, a partnership with the UK. Two, Rwanda announced they're doing CBDCs. Would you look at that? The UK is sending the extra immigrants they have to Rwanda, a country that announced about 2 weeks after they're coming out with CBDCs. This has got nothing to do with voting, the mass migration that's going on. It's all about having everybody trapped in a CBDC world. That's all it is. They're doing these investments, they're doing all of these maneuvers just to get everybody trapped. Very simple. But it's about you taking, essentially benefit of these situations because they're going to happen either way. So benefit from it. The number one that you should honestly do is benefit ASAP. Take advantage of any scenario you're in. Even if it's a bad scenario of, CBDCs, take advantage of it. Go for the backbone. Why Miles? Oh, there we go. ICP should go to Africa. World Mobile Token on Cardano is big in Africa and Pakistan. Yes, it is. Ripple has a massive partnership with Africa as well. Massive partnership. Binance didn't find its adventurous going to an African country. He's still in prison. Binance, yeah. Thanks, Miles. Free and forever, no problem. What are your thoughts on the Saudi that you're starting to trade oil and different currencies? It will have an impact on the US dollar. The US will be able to maintain itself, and if Saudi continues essentially trying to trade off in different currencies, if Saudi Arabia continues trying to trade off in different currencies, then the US will make something happen where Saudi Arabia will come crawling back. Sometimes when people make too much money, they forget who put them there in the first place. Same thing goes with Saudi Arabia. The reason why Saudi Arabia even exists is also because of the oil companies, American oil companies. Sometimes when people make too much money, they forget who put them there in the first place. And sometimes the people that put them there in the first place have to remind them that we put you here in the first place. And that reminder normally comes in a sense of an earthquake, or that reminder comes normally in the sense of something going wrong, the financials going wrong, their economy going sideways. And then that's their reminder of, we put you there. Don't forget that. CBDCs are like the social credit score in China. Any thoughts? No. CBDCs are central bank digital currencies that connect to social credit systems. So CBDCs is the currency that's essentially freezes and expiry dates, and the other side essentially is credit scores. Credit scores, social credit scores is what you can buy, eat, sleep, sit, stand, where you can go and can't go and so on. But yeah, CBDCs are the money that controls you, and the social credit systems is essentially also controls you, but tells you where to go, where to stand, where to eat, and so on. But they connect to each other though. The World Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum, they discussed it. 10 years, Bill Gates Millennium Foundation working on CBDC wallets that connect to social credit systems. Now, the next news on tonight's live show is this one. NTT Data. NTT Data, CBDCs, ironically, form a academic to implementation. So there was an event that happened regarding CBDCs. Even Miles and CMF, Pierce, good to see you. How you doing? There was an event that happened regarding CBDCs, where bankers attended this event. The Bank of International Settlements was there, and so many high-profile executives were there as well. So George, the senior director and client partner at the banking at NTT Data, are essentially on the practical steps for implementing central bank digital currencies. He was going through the step-by-step process of how things are going to be rolling through in terms of central bank currencies. So for the past year, discussions around central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, have centered on how to integrate them effectively within the financial system, improving trust and reliability while addressing transparency concerns, and for the concerns regarding crucial concerns for the mainstream adoption of CBDCs. The academic discourse around CBDCs has been rigorous, and now NTT Data Senior Director and Client Partner of the banking, George, walks us through the practical steps of implementing CBDCs. His comments come after a UST's Director, Innovation and Global Head of Blockchain, Daniel Field, spoke to people essentially on May 2024 on the continued evolution of CBDCs in 2024. CBDCs, from plans to actions. From plans to actions, CBDCs. These are the exact, essentially, speech he gave. The exact speeches. To move forward, the most step in the adoption of on the adoption of digital currencies is to turn plans into actions, says George. Considering how digital currencies will impact everyday banking users, traditional banking processes, regulations, and financial literacy education is important. However, it's equally important in concentrate activities follow these considerations, with nearly all the world's central banks now exploring digital currencies. It's the right time to create the global ecosystem. The right time to create the global ecosystem where digital currencies can thrive. This is when the world is shifting into a digital era in general, 2024. But how can central banks shift into gear and move forward planning to tangible action? For George, several concerns must be addressed first. A lack of financial literacy, education, and proper guidelines around cybersecurity across the financial sector, as well as the pressure on banks to innovate quickly, are just a few lingering issues that require attention, he says. In terms of leadership and current adoption in the digital currency space, many countries, including the US, China, Switzerland, and Nigeria, have been at the forefront of CBDCs. The US, with its strong financial infrastructure and status as a global tech and finance leader, is well positioned to facilitate the development and adoption of a digital currency. China has introduced the first digital USD, essentially FUSD, backed by the US and recognized as one of the world's largest stablecoins. Switzerland is excelling in the regulatory space by combining technological innovation with solid regulatory frameworks to ensure the secure creation and adoption of digital currencies. Nigeria, along with a few other African nations, is seeing an increased interest in digital currencies and has pioneered the launch of its own CBDC, the eNaira. Elsewhere, the UK is not far behind either, but if it's going to follow the footsteps of countries who have prioritized regulation and ensure stability, it will need to continue taking steps to foster a solid public trust in this space. The global bank messaging network SWIFT has also planned to launch a new platform in the next 1 to 2 years to connect the rise of central bank digital currencies. Indeed, over 90% of countries, over 90% of countries are exploring CBDCs today. Preparations are now swiftly underway for the future implementation as exploring has seen key markets shore up regulations and the adoption of digital currencies. With all this in mind, the introduction of CBDCs could be set to transform the central financial landscape sooner rather than later, with the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, predicting there will be 15 retail CBDCs by 2030. There's going to be more than 15 retail CBDCs, but within, starting now to 2030, 15 countries will be fully in CBDCs. Now, the next news to also go through on tonight's live show is Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton is introducing a fund where they're going to be choosing crypto projects to go for, except Bitcoin Ethereum, because Franklin Templeton already has a Bitcoin ETF and an Ethereum ETF. But Franklin Templeton is creating their own crypto fund to go outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I know now what those projects are, which we'll go through when we get to that news next. But before we move on to that news, just to talk about this of what's happening right now in terms of CBDCs. Regarding what the Bank of International Settlements said, there's going to be more than 15 CBDCs within starting now to 2030. And also regarding what's happening inside the comment section regarding cowboy crypto, okay, CBDCs are slavery. They are, yes, that is true. And Pierce, good to see as well. How you doing? Casper to the moon, is what VT said. Would you say that your credit score is a form of social scoring? Yes, but your credit score isn't your actual credit score now isn't connected to a system where it can control you in terms of a CBDC wallet being attached to it of what was spoken at the World Economic Forum by the Bill Gates Foundation. But yes, it's similar, but in many different ways, also very different. But it's a kickstart. Casper is the future again. What VT said. VT, I appreciate that you're very big, VT, on the comment section. I appreciate that you're very big and passionate about Casper, but I don't appreciate the spamming inside the comment sections. So we get it. Casper is very big and it's going to have a very bright future, and I'm happy that you're going to do very well for yourself in Casper. But don't really appreciate the spamming inside the comment section. But good project. Now, CBDCs or slavery is what Cowboy Crypto said. Yes, I agree. CBDCs are slavery, and it's basically what it is. Now, you've got to benefit from it because I've said this to people many times. It's going to happen either way. You like it or not, CBDCs will happen. So, number one thing you can do is benefit from it. And how you benefit from CBDCs is by going for the crypto project that's going to be behind it. I've said this many times. Inside the crypto space, 24,000 crypto projects, let's say, we have a group inside the crypto space that are just AI projects, massive competition going on in AI and crypto. Web3 projects, massive competition. Gaming projects inside the crypto space, massive competition. Data projects, massive competition. There's one crypto project doing CBDCs and only one crypto project that has a CBDC platform. And ironically, this one project is working with the Bank of International Settlements, which is the banks of all central banks, and 63 centralized banks in G20 countries. That project is Ripple. Do you know what that project is stated? On cross-border payments PDF documentation of the Bank of International Settlements. Just think about it for a second. 24,000 crypto projects. They're all either inside of essentially, AI, gaming, data, and Web3. But one project is only doing CBDCs and has a CBDC platform and has no competition. Just think about it for a second. And that documentation from the Bank of International Settlements is public documentations. I can send it to you if you want, no problem. It's titled cross-border payments. Swift is on it. It's from the Bank of International Settlements, and Ripple is the only other company on it in terms of blockchain. So, what I was trying to get to is very simple. CBDCs are bad. Correct. They are very bad. But can you stop them? No. Can anyone stop CBDCs? Unfortunately, no. So what is your next step? Well, if you can't stop CBDCs, benefit from it. It's very simple. There's an old saying, if you can't beat them, join them. So you have two options. Go against CBDCs, losing battle. Benefit from the CBDCs, winning battle. So, one project is doing CBDCs and one project is with the Bank of International Settlements. It's called Ripple and it has one token. It's called XRP. And if you're wondering, is Ripple going to use XRP? Yes. It's on their own website. Step by step of how they're going to be using XRP was actually announced on Ripple's own website about 3 nights ago. But yeah, so you have two options. Go against CBDCs, losing battle. If you can't beat them, join them. Go for the backbone instead and profit. It might be cruel, but, it's better than being on CBDCs. I mean, you'll still be on CBDCs, but at least you have the backbone that's running the show. So if you can't beat them, join them. Thank you, Miles. No problem, Joe. Thompson, let's go. How you doing? I'm so late to the show. Don't worry. Actually, Thompson, you joined perfect timing because the two next news I'm going to go through are extremely bullish and they're Ripple related as well. So you joined perfect timing for the good part of the live shows. I mean, the rest was amazing as well, but perfect timing still. Don't worry about it. Miles, can Ali make it to the top 30 in this bull run with the help of Mark Cuban? With the help of Mark Cuban, I mean, possible if Mark Cuban is thinking about funding it, but just doing marketing work for it. Marketing will get it up to a certain level. If that's actual utility purposes, then it'll reach it to a different level. So possible, but depends on how much work he puts inside of it and how much money he pulls inside of it. So it's possible. I wouldn't say it's guaranteed, but possible. If he runs the show correct. No, Mark Cuban is a very intelligent man, very wealthy man. So I'm hoping he pulls one out of the bag. Now, going to Cowboy Crypto's comment again, which is, if nobody uses CBDCs, they are worthless. Yes. Realistically, if nobody uses CBDCs, they are worthless. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world where we have too many intelligent people around us. You see, people can be fooled very easily. Crypto Cowboy, the reason why the world is the way it is because the majority of the retail section are not very intelligent. If the majority of the retail section were intelligent and didn't believe in the media as gospel, then yes, the world will be a different place. We wouldn't even have CBDCs to begin with. But unfortunately, we live in a world where the majority are incredibly uneducated and unintelligent. Even if you're educated, you can still be a moron. Let's just be very honest. Even if you are incredibly educated, you can still be a moron. But it's about seeing through the BS, which a lot of people can't see. But the reason why also history repeats itself is because people are forgetful. So unfortunately, we don't live in a world with too many intelligent people around us. It's the opposite. There's not that many intelligent people around us. So if nobody uses CBDCs, they are worthless. I agree. But we don't live in that world. We live in the real world where the majority will believe the media no matter what. I'll give it to you like this. My grandparents were told that the earth is heating up or freezing. Then their generation told the next generation the same thing, global warming. The next generation said the same thing. The next generation, and then fast forward to our generation, it's the same thing. The planet is heating up. We need to go to, we need to be saving the planet, carbon dioxide, and so on and so on. Every generation has been told the same story. The reason why history will always repeat itself is because people are forgetful, but also because the past generation is dead, the older generation. But also because people are forgetful. But yeah, every generation is pretty much told the same story and the same BS. And the people that tell you these BSs are the same people that will take a private jet to a World Economic Forum event, then get on a helicopter, go in their S500 Mercedes cars in V8s, tell everybody to walk everywhere and eat vegetables and plant-based meat, and then they get on their Mercedes S500s, go back into their helicopters, go back into their private jets and fly out to wherever they came from. These are the people that are telling you to walk everywhere. Just think about it for a second. These are the people that are telling you to walk everywhere. And there are people in this world who will go, yes, I need to walk everywhere to save this planet. First of all, walking is good for your health. But second of all, the person that's telling you to walk everywhere is the person that took a private jet and then a helicopter and then a Mercedes V8 to tell everyone around the world to walk and ride bicycles and buy electric cars and to eat plant-based meat. And then they got back into their Mercedes 500s, back into a helicopter, and then into a private jet. This is the person that's telling you to walk everywhere, and you're going, yes, I need to walk everywhere because I need to save the planet. How can we save this world if we have morons like that? Where the person that's telling to walk isn't doing it themselves. So how can we honestly, try to go against anything in this world? Because we have too many morons around us. Because they can't even comprehend who's telling them to do these actions. So it's a losing battle. So, knowing that's a losing battle to go against CBDCs, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm going for Ripple and XRP. I want to be part of the backbone of the CBDCs that controls these morons. Because if I can't get rid of CBDCs, I might as well benefit from these morons. They will ban cash. And again, yes, I said this previously as well. What just Camel said right now. Zoom call. If you're really trying to tell people to save the planet, do a Zoom call. You don't need to take a private jet and then a helicopter and then an S500 to tell everyone to, walk everywhere and ride bicycles because you're saving the planet. S500, and then back to the S500, back to the helicopter, back to the private jet. Do a Zoom call. You want to save the planet, don't you? But no, people don't ask these questions of why don't they just do a Zoom call? People just go, yes, they are right. I need to be riding bicycles and eating meat produced in a warehouse. You see how, honestly, thick people are. This is why CBDCs will happen. CBDCs, in my opinion, are guaranteed to happen. The amount of morons we have in this world, CBDCs are guaranteed to happen. We have too many morons who can't see anything essentially coming. So I might as well benefit from CBDCs. How am I going to benefit? Ripple, XRP. They're the only one with a CBDC platform. 24,000 crypto projects. They're all focused on AI, gaming, Web3, data. Ripple's the only one with CBDCs. One crypto project has a CBDC platform and no competition. And one of those with the Bank of International Settlements. So I might as well benefit because I can't stand in front of CBDCs with these morons around us. Now, the next news to go from tonight's live show regarding Franklin Templeton, quite bullish. Once utilities gain legal clarity, then Bitcoin will gradually start to fade away. Therefore, XRP, XDC, and XLM will be the frontier in the financial system. It's been alive for the last 100 years, pretty much, yes. The planet's heating up. I'll be honest, I don't feel like the planet's heating up. The UK apparently is about to go through its worst summer. How can the planet be heating up if we're about to go through the worst summer, which is all rain and wind? I thought we were heating up. What happened to the heat up? So, we were here. Cryptocurrency is a hedge against CBDCs, pretty much. Lobster Wallet will also be your friend as well. Diversification is imperative. Yes, it is. Modi was just re-elected for his third term. This is a good. Is this good for digital assets? If he was chosen, then there's a reason he was chosen. Not by the people, but by the people that put him there. Once utilities gain legal clarity, and yeah, pretty much XRP, XLR, XDC, we'll end the show. Let's go. They will ban cash, so they have to use CBDCs. They don't need to ban cash. They're already fading cash out. Crypto Cowboy, they don't need to ban cash at all. Because if they ban cash, then people start protesting havoc. They're already fading cash out. A lot of places already don't accept cash, and we don't even have CBDCs yet. Banks are closing down, and we don't even have CBDCs yet. Bank branches are closing. Cash points and ATMs, they're closing. We don't even have CBDCs yet. Restaurants don't accept cash sometimes. Some restaurants don't accept it. Neither do bars. Neither do gyms. A lot of places don't accept cash, and we don't even have CBDCs yet. But they'll tell you it's optional, obviously. When they come out with CBDCs, they'll tell you it's optional. You can use cash as well. But we don't even have CBDCs, and cash is already being faded out. So what makes you think it's going to be optional when CBDCs come out? It's an illusion of option. Same way you have illusion of freedom of speech. Climate warning is a scam. More than CO2, more than green planets around this planet produce oxygen, so cycle is to take care of itself. Exactly, Anna. I was waiting for someone to say that. Facts. Let's go, Anna. I've been banned since 2017. Deep rabbit hole. VRA and VIO. VRA, not good. VIO, good. I've always said VRA. Whenever anyone ever asks me, I said VRA. It's not a project that I would say I would must have in my crypto portfolio. But VIO is good because of IBM. Another outstanding session tonight, Miles. I am still on live. I wanted to share it before I forgot. No problem, Scott. But yeah, Franklin Templeton news. It's quite interesting. We're about to go through right now. We know what they're going to be doing on their fund. Yeah, but I think people are starting to wake up. If people are starting to wake up, they'll go back to sleep. Trust me. We've seen this show before, and I know how it ends. People wake up, people go back to sleep, people get distracted. So VRA is not good. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Now, Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton bets on risky cryptos. The financial giant, this is extremely bullish, by the way. The financial giant Franklin Templeton is preparing to launch a crypto fund centered on specific altcoins. This announcement is stirring a lot of curiosity and questions. Which digital assets will be favored and what are the motivations behind this bold choice? I revealed to everyone that Franklin Templeton is thinking about doing this, but we didn't know what the crypto projects were. Now we have an idea. A new bet on altcoins. Franklin Templeton has a Bitcoin ETF and their Ethereum ETF is on the way, but they want to venture out of Bitcoin and only Ethereum. They want to venture out into the entire crypto space. Franklin Templeton, an asset manager with a valuation of $1.5 trillion in assets under management, has announced its intentions to launch a crypto fund focused on several altcoins. This move reflects the confidence and the potential of the digital assets beyond traditional heavyweights like Bitcoin and Ether. The altcoins targeted by this fund include XRP, Solana, and Shiba Inu. The three projects, essentially, that Franklin Templeton is aiming for right now in their altcoin fund, XRP Ripple, and they've given the reasons why. Solana and Shiba Inu. Solana, known for its speed and energy efficiency, offers a robust platform for decentralized applications. XRP, on the other hand, is distinguished by its abilities to facilitate low-cost international transactions, while Shiba Inu, despite its humble beginnings as a meme coin, has managed to build an engaged community and attract attentions with ambitious projects. These are the three projects they're venturing into right now. Franklin Templeton, $1.5 trillion asset under management. They have a Bitcoin ETF, they have an Ethereum ETF, but they're venturing out now into the crypto space. And they're aiming for XRP, Solana, and Shiba Inu. Seems like they're going for all types of pieces of the pie. XRP, because of the banking situation, is what they're piecing the pie. Essentially, the piece of the pie is what they want of the banking scenarios. When they're going for Solana, they're going for the community behind it, but also Shiba Inu, they're going for the riskier asset. Ironically, when I was ever asked about, by the way, I'm going to read the rest of it as well, but whenever anybody asked me about meme coins and so on, no big fan of them, but whenever anybody asked me about meme coins, I've always said, and all my live shows are pre-recorded, I've always said, because people said to me, is Floki Inu good or that good and this good? I've always said, look, there are only three meme coins that I could potentially see surviving everything, is what I've always said. I said one is Dogecoin because of Elon Musk. I said Shiba Inu was an absolute miracle, as in it survived. And Luna C because of Binance. And Franklin Templeton is venturing out to XRP, which is amazing. Going towards Solana, and they're going towards Shiba Inu. This initiative by Franklin Templeton is a part of a broader strategy to diversify institutional investors' portfolios by providing them with an exposure to an emerging digital assets. Because they wanted a bit of everything. Franklin Templeton wanted a bit of everything to offer. By specifying targeting these altcoins, Franklin Templeton is betting on the diversification and the growth potential of these cryptos. The fund aims to attract a new generation of investors looking to maximize their returns through promising digital assets. Staking rewards for crypto investors. Franklin Templeton's new crypto fund offers an attractive feature for investors, something that was taken away from Ethereum ETFs, which is staking. Staking rewards. By incorporating altcoins like Solana, XRP, and Shiba Inu into their portfolio, investors can benefit from additional returns through the staking process. This will bring more investors to the table from the institutional side. One, because it's coming from Franklin Templeton. Institutions trust Templeton. And if Franklin Templeton is the first one going to be offering essentially staking rewards, then that's what's going to bring a lot of investors to the table from the institutions. This approach by Franklin Templeton aims to attract investors by offering them a dual opportunity, the chance to benefit from the potential growth of altcoins and to generate passive income through staking. By offering these rewards, the fund seeks to maximize returns for its investors while supporting the underlying blockchain networks. This strategy could appeal to those looking to diversify their income sources while actively participating in the crypto ecosystem. While this new crypto fund, Franklin Templeton, is paving the way for a broader adoption of altcoins and staking rewards, what Franklin Templeton has just done is open the floodgates. And I'll explain another positive as well, and the next news is even more positive for Ripple. This initiative strategy could redefine investment standards in the crypto sector, offering institutional investors a unique opportunity to diversify and optimize their portfolios. The next news to go from tonight's live show, but we're going to go back to that as well. But the next news to go from tonight's live show is regarding Ripple and their new partnership regarding gold and silver. But before we go to that Ripple announcement of partnership regarding gold and silver on the XRP ledger, just sticking to this. Do you know why this is also good? What's Ripple doing right now in a lawsuit? The last part of the lawsuit. If Franklin Templeton is announcing that they're going to be venturing out into XRP, what's the indication of what's going to happen next? The indication is this is the year this lawsuit should end. Because otherwise, Franklin Templeton wouldn't touch XRP publicly while essentially being in a lawsuit. But they know that this lawsuit is bogus. They know this lawsuit is going to come to an end this year. And that's why they've publicly said, yeah, we're going to go for them as well. 2, the next positive thing is basically this is going to open up the floodgates. Franklin Templeton does this, everybody will follow in suit. Every single other institution will follow in suit. They will open their doors to the rest of the crypto space as well. As I said previously, Bitcoin ETFs is not just good for Bitcoin in general, it's good for the entire crypto space because it brings eyes on the entire crypto space. Ethereum ETFs are not just good for Ethereum because it brings eyes again in the entire crypto space. Is basically what's going on. The adoption rate, which is great. And it offers staking, which is something Ethereum ETFs can't do. Otherwise, they fall under a different category. Now, the next news, which is even more bullish, is this one. Ripple and Meld Gold forged a partnership. Did you say gold and silver? Yes, I did. Ripple and Meld Gold forged a partnership, pioneering real-world asset integration on the XRP ledger. Now, this was rumored, but now confirmed, according to their own page. Regarding Meld's page, according to a strategic collaboration between Ripple and Meld Gold would see real-world assets integrated into the XRP ledger, coupled with the offerings of a greater access, utility, and efficiencies through the provision of institutional-grade functionalities and built-in features. According to the official release, this would enable secure, efficient, and scalable financial services and use cases. In addition to that, the collaboration would essentially enable businesses and developers to build on the XRP ledger opportunities while offering utilities to users seeking better ways to own and interact with the real-world assets. Fungible gold to be delivered in Q3 of this year. The release reviewed by the CMF team discloses that initial integrations of Meld Gold would ensure that fungible golds are delivered in addition to silver assets on the XRP ledger. In the third quarter of this year, interestingly, each token would represent 1 gram of the corresponding precious metal possessed by the industry giants such as MKS PAMP and Imperial Vaults. On top of that, Meld Gold would deliver the needed infrastructure meant to introduce a range of assets on-chain via close work with precious metals and alternative physical asset industries. After all of these, it would deliver greater transparency within the quarter through the accountability of metals held and their locations. Meld Gold would embark on a series of upgrading, including the first implementation of patent-pending work on minimized trust systems for connecting physical items to the blockchain. Meld Gold, this is the tweet that Meld Gold sent out. Meld Gold and Ripple are teaming up to tokenize the real-world assets on the XRP ledger, bringing ancient currencies to the future of finance. In Q3, they'll introduce fungible gold and silver assets, with each token representing 1 gram of precious metals held by industry leaders. More on Meld Gold and according to Meld Gold's CEO, Michael Cotton, the upcoming real-world asset revolution would perfectly fit their passion for disrupting and advancing digital ownership. This comes from the CEO of Meld Gold. Our team of industry experts has deep experience in every component of the supply chain, from originating regarding certification and logistics to storage and insurance. Our passion for disrupting and essentially advancing digital ownership is ideal for the coming real-world asset revolution. This is the industry delivering the systems only they could design to bring the physical world on-chain. Only XRP and Ripple could essentially help them with. Over the years, blockchain technology has been leveraged for advantages, including immediate gold accessibility, simple and secure ownership accountability, and standardized data rails for interoperability. For the XRP ledger, it has always existed as a decentralized layer 1 blockchain known for its long reliability and stability in the tokenization and the exchanging of crypto natives and real world assets. It is powered by XRP and was designed to support businesses and builders. Having perfectly delivered this mandate, it is trusted by more than 1,000 visionary builders and businesses worldwide. According to the experts, the integration of Meld Gold and the XRP ledger would accelerate the growth of the XRP ledger DeFi ecosystem and provide the world's most accepted, largest cap asset on chain. New and existing users can equally take advantage of the XRP ledger native features, which includes the DEX, the AMM, and payment systems, and the coming EVM side and money markets. In the blockchain ecosystem, how assets are connected to the blockchain and how they are precisely accounted for have been the main components often overlooked. Meanwhile, precious metals always require trust, but is often minimized to the required level. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, essentially, what is the value? What is the value of this Meld Gold situation? What do they have? Well, the fully diluted valuation, FDV, of Meld Gold, the fully diluted valuation of Meld Gold is $5.4 trillion. This is a statistical representation of the maximum market cap, assuming the maximum number of 90 billion MCAU are in circulation today. $5.4 trillion. Meld Gold is sitting at $5.4 trillion. That is the bullish news I was going to tell you. And I left it for the endings of this live. But let's go into the comment section first. So what does everyone think about that news? I just remembered that both XLM and XRP dropped on Friday, major selling activities. But I certainly hope that it continues like this until Friday. Great buying opportunities, yes. Best lunar or both Shiba Inu lunacy. Yep, just brought some lunacy this week. Let's go. Did you say gold and silver? Yes, I did. Miles, that says it all about XRP. They know the court case win. Exactly. Regarding Franklin Templeton as well. Hi, Miles and family. Mav, let's go. Camel, let's go. Fire. Is there an XRP ETF coming soon? It is on the way. So XRP beat the SEC case. If yes, then does Ripple have to pay a fine? At the end, yeah. If yes, how much? We'll have to see. This is Fire Miles. Let's go. In my personal opinion, that news alone about gold and silver on the XRP ledger to me screams $500 per XRP token. Let's go. Happy Pisces. Miles, did you check on RV? I didn't get a time to check on it, but I will check on it after this live show. Sorry about that, Leo. I'll check on it after this live show. Direct message me, Leon. Oh, you did direct message me, actually. Regarding RV, and you telegrammed me. I'll look into it after this live show. Damn, I'm off to buy more XRP. Let's go, Jason. Holy chip. XRP was at 0.49 today. Miles predicted a dip, and we had full knowledge to be able to purchase it. Great, especially when the gold goes up. Exactly. So, I'm hoping after, a few days of the market being down, this was good news for all of you to hear while the market was down just for a few days, but also buying opportunities. I mean, the market was down, which was excellent buying opportunities. But I'm hoping this was some good news to, take away the frustration and give you some relief of what's about to be happening next regarding what I just read out. So, I'm hoping that was the relief that you needed, of you are on the right path. You've always been on the right path, but here's more relief. You are definitely on the right path. Now, if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like. And on tonight's live show, we essentially went through quite a lot of mixture of news. We went through Ripple and Meld Gold and Forge news. We went through Franklin Templeton and what their fund's going to go towards. Is XRP as well, and Solana and Shiba Inu. Then we talked about essentially real world assets. Then we talked about essentially CBDCs and what's going to be happening next and how they're going to be implemented. Then we talked about how a lot of things are happening in African nations in terms of blockchain, Web3. A lot of things are happening. Then we talked about essentially researcher Daniel giving his perspectives on Bitcoin mining in China. Then essentially we talked about the European Central Bank, ECB, and the Bank of Canada regarding rate cuts. Then we talked about real world assets in terms of tokens outshining two main crypto projects in terms of the corporate sector. Then we talked about another perspective from the corporate sector, which was BNY Mellon, their research, essentially showing that family offices are coming in heavy-footed inside the crypto space. Then we talked about essentially the ASI Alliance, the new super intelligent AI project that's coming out, a mixture of SingularityNet, Ocean Protocol, and Fetch AI. Then we talked about Uniswap CEO being an absolute tool. Then we talked about Wintermute CEO, his perspective on Ethereum. Then we talked about Charles giving his perspectives on Cardano and how he hates the media or how he portrays Cardano. And then we talked about essentially MicroStrategy giving his perspectives regarding Bitcoin. And then we talked about CoinGecko being compromised. So we went through quite a lot of mixture of news on today's live show. So if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow and drop a like. You can tune into this live show every single night on X Live, if you're watching this on X, or on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube. You can tune into this live show every single night. This is episode 82. 82 days, back to back, 82 days I've been doing these live shows, back to back. This is episode 82, every single day, on X and on YouTube at the exact same time. So if you enjoyed this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and if you are watching this, drop a comment as well, if you want. It helps with the algorithm when you drop a comment, it spreads this live show as well. This is, by the way, called the CMF live show. On this live show, every single night, I talk about recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, in terms of CBDCs, in terms of AI, in terms of regulations, in terms of partnerships and integrations. So yeah, if you tune into this live show, you'll be well more informed, a lot more, and PDFs. So if you enjoy this live show, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. Let's go inside the comment section. I just purchased a lot of XRP. It's about to go down. It went down right after I brought more XRP. Should I have warned you? Definitely considering buying more XRP though. Take care, Miles, the CMF. Ray, let's go. See you tomorrow, but same time as usual. I'm so close to getting my goal of 5,000 of XRP. Let's go, Thomas. You haven't said a lot about HBAR, Adder, ACH lately. Any news? Well, we read through Cardano news today, actually. Cardano's founder saying there's a lot of things on the way for Cardano. ACH, it was a recent development news that I came out with. But HBAR, nothing so far since the previous news is. Good night, Miles. Take care and see you tomorrow. Mike, see you tomorrow, but sometimes as usual. So XRP, XLM, XDC, and ACH is still strong block? Yes. In my opinion, hell yes. Informative tonight as always. Thank you for what you do for our family group each night. Let's go, Scott. Thanks so much for the kind words, brother. Great live, Miles. With a boom at the end. Good night, Miles and CMF. Let's go, Jason. I'm always, I want to, as I said, I'm trying to do these new modes for the CMF live show. So we start off with the information. So we start off with the warning news and then the information news and then the perspective news and then the massive endings. I report and then well, sometimes I'll move them around as well. So I report, then I take the link and post it again. Let's go Scott, PDFs, let's go Dale. I believe whatever the lady said that works for Wells Fargo is correct. XRP will be $50 by 2025. That is true. Wells Fargo lady did say that. That's true. Absolutely fantastic news, Miles. Good night, Miles, and all CMF. Free feather. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. Thank you so much, and good night, Lena. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. Thanks, Miles. Have a good night. See you tomorrow, Orphan. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. That was a great grand finale, Miles. Thank you, and good night to you and all of the family. Let's go, Troy. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. Good live tonight, Miles. Thanks. See you tomorrow. Solomon, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. See you tomorrow, same time as usual. Get some rest, Miles. You are only good for our group and family if you take care of yourself. Let's go, Scott. Good night, Miles, and all CMF. Thank you. Great news. JP, thank you so much, brother, for the kind words. I will see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Scott, see you tomorrow, brother, same time as usual. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same timing as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. Coin, see you tomorrow, same time as usual as well. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, see you tomorrow.